The Spartans arrive in front of their adoring fans in East Lansing. And for the first time since the mid-60s, they are 4-0 in the conference. Welcome, everybody, with Gary Danielson and Jack Arute. I'm Brent Musburger. Nice to have you along with us. My partner over here, Gary, doesn't think this is going to be just same old with these two.
You know, Brett, this game has always been a little bit about revenge, a little bit about redemption, especially this year with these two teams. I think that's the case. But it's a little different. I think in past years, it's been a fist fight at the 50-yard line. You know, the fullback against the linebacker, Bo Schembechler, George Perlis. Now it's a little bit more about finesse. Wide receivers, pass protections. It's always been about toughness. I think this year it's going to be about toughness, too, though. It always comes down to that.
First year for John L. Smith at the helm of the Spartans. Lloyd Carr, he's a veteran of these wars. The kickoff is next.
John L. Smith is the new head coach of the Michigan State Spartans. And, Coach, all year long this team has played it fast, loose, and like they had nothing to lose. Any concerns about the pucker factor today?
Oh, I'm sure we're going to be puckered up a little bit. But after the first series, that'll leave. And then it's play football from there on out. Take care of what we have to take care of.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, babe.
John L. Smith. No pucker there, ladies and gentlemen. He's a rascal from the Rocky Mountains. Played at Weber State. Coached successfully at Idaho, Utah State. And he's got a good kicker. Number 16, Dave Rayner. With a little bit of a breeze, he can send this one into the end zone. Better than that. This will come out on the 20-yard line. So Rayner's strong leg. And let's meet Michigan's senior quarterback.
John Navarre, fifth-year senior in Cudahy, Wisconsin.
8-3 on the road in Big Ten Conference play, and a spectacular comeback earlier this season against Minnesota when the Golden Gophers had them reeling. And now he will come out. Michigan State's plan, the coaches told us, try to get him on the run if they can. Try to force him out of the comfort zone. Purdue failed at that a week ago in Ann Arbor. And with two wide, Perry, number 23, powers straight ahead for 2 or 3 yards. And now let's take a look at the Principal Financial Group starting lineups. David Boz of Michigan, all Big Ten candidate at that left guard spot. The skill players, skill galore. Chris Perry, who we've seen one tough Wolverine, shook off a nagging leg injury last week. And John L., the coach of Michigan State, said, we're staying away from Stevie Brushton. We're going to punt it out of bounds. We're going to angle punt it. We don't want him hurting us. You can see the turf on the top of the helmet. The sod has been coming up here at Michigan State. A little bit unhappy with the surface here. And it is Perry scratching, clawing for a first down against this defense. They lead the nation in sacks. Taplin back in the lineup. Askew, Easter, and Dukes. And they have a very smart little man, Mike Labenjo, out of Toronto, Canada. And the big question, can these four, and with the nickel man, can they hold up in that defensive backfield? Labenjo relaying the signals. Now he sets in defensively. Greg Cooper gives them the nickel man look. And the Wolverines motion out of the backfield, and Navarre fires incomplete.
Great matchup for Michigan State. Right away, Michigan State matches up with a nickel on first down. As soon as Preston came into the game and 3 wide receivers, Michigan State counters with 5 defensive backs. They are ready, and that's where that bye game from last week really helped. A bye a week off.
Andy Minery, an extra tight end, brings the play in, and Preston leaves. So they're going to show a tighter look here on 2nd down and 10.
And Seth Mitchell, number 48, they're heavy linebackers in the game right there.
Kevin Dudley is the offset fullback for the Wolverines. And here comes Perry behind him, and nothing doing against that Spartan defense led by linebacker Ronald Stanley. Well, let's take a look at Lloyd Carr's quote at his news conference. You all know the persona of Lloyd. It's just a Big Ten game. When you get into this stage, you got an opportunity to shoot for some goals, you said. But the other fella, John L., says, let's whip them up to a lather, ladies and gentlemen. Let's make it even bigger. Put your flags up. You get to call each other rotten names all week. My goodness, let's have some fun. No more enthusiastic coach in college football than John L. Smith. Now 3rd down and 11 for Navarre and the Wolverines. John steps into the pocket, fires incomplete, and Michigan forced to punt. He was trying to find Bruston at midfield, and Roderick Maples, the senior corner from Detroit, with coverage on Bruston.
Oh, big misread, and John Navarre is very fortunate to get away from this. Crossing route from one side, but the corner from the opposite end of the field comes across. Look at that, Roderick Maples, a blind side, should have been interception by Michigan State.
Adam Finley from behind him. The deep man is Kavanaugh, wide receiver, and he is down at the 36-yard line. We'll take a break. Michigan State's first possession coming up. Well, let's meet the senior quarterback.
My name's Jeff Smoker, and I currently lead the Big Ten in passing yards per game.
Many of you, of course, know the story. Battling substance abuse, suspended from the team, battled his way back. There's an outstanding article about Jeff Smoker and his problems in this week's Sports Illustrated. Certainly worth reading and worth pulling for this young man to keep it up. Now first down for the Spartans, coming out from the 36-yard line. There's a penalty flag thrown on their first offensive set. Incomplete. The linesman threw the penalty flag.
Didn't look right, didn't look clean.
Dave Whitvote is our referee, and Roger Haber is our umpire on this crew. Roger wearing a wireless microphone to help us.
Offside. Defense. 5 yards.
The principal financial group starting lineup, and Morris, the center. He's the O-line signal caller. If it gets real noisy, he'll even call out the silent count. Now, the skill players must read the hot spots off the blitzes. You know that Jim Herman likes to send defensive backs off the corner. And a dual-headed punter today. Dave Rayner from inside the 50 is more of an angle punter. Brandon Fields with a very strong leg. So Michigan State planning for Bruston now on 1st and 5. And Smoker back in the gun brings Hayes over to him. Goes deep, incomplete. LeSueur with coverage on that side for the Wolverines as we take a look now at Michigan starting defense, and Grant Bowman out with an injured knee against Purdue. Looks serious, but he's decided to give it a try. And when they drop into the deep zones, Carl Diggs, we are told, number 43, drops off. Is Marlon Jackson healthy? Behringer is again in that starting lineup, and he held up very well a week ago against Purdue. So number 3, after warming up, is over on the sideline with a helmet.
He's not even in the nickel or dime package.
2nd down and 5. Smoker tosses it in underneath. Hayes has the first down and crosses midfield. So the running back, Jaron Hayes, slips out in this wide open John L. Smith offense and picks up a first down.
Be watching Jaron Hayes all day. That is going to be the key guy for this offense as we watch him perform from the running back position, both rushing and catching yards. There's his stats entering the day today, and that sends a huge message to Michigan's defense. When you blitz, we will complete short passes.
Into Wolverine territory, Smoker comes back with Hayes as the runner for about a yard on that play. Let's check in down below with our colleague Jack Arute. Jack, I was very disappointed in that turf down there.
Yeah, Brent, and I've covered a lot of tracks in my career, both racing and on the field. Take a look. I've dropped a golf ball on the track here. It's a slow track, or is this, Gary, the U.S. Open? Looks like the rough to me.
Not supposed to hit it there, but unfortunately, that's all there is.
2nd down and long. Shabai motions out to the left side. In effect, gives the Spartans 5 wideouts. Pressure. Smoker, top. Incomplete. Wanted Eric Knott, the tight end, and there was pressure by Carl Diggs.
Ernest Shazar was on coverage that time. You'll see the attack right here. Lays it up, does not get hit. Tight end, strong safety, exactly. 2 buddies, by the way. Both played in the Michigan Public School League. Again, though, a blitz and not a sack. Michigan State accomplishes what they want early in this game. Not to let that blitz determine the outcome of the game.
Aaron Alexander is flanked out to the right. Shabai comes through the Michigan State formation. They slip it to Hayes, who drops it incomplete. And now This would be a perfect spot for a John L. Smith position punt by Rayner. He runs the special teams, and here comes the field goal man, Dave Rayner, onto the field to try just this. In our meeting, John L. Smith said, going in, cross the 50, look for Rayner to do the punting for us. And here he is, number 16. Preston standing back on the 15. If he catches it and has room to run, Rayner has made a mistake. That's the plan here today. Run it over to the right. They're going to play rugby right off the top. On the bounce, they go for it. They've got it at the 1-yard line. John L. Smith, a master at the special teams. And Dave Rayner does the job for him. The Wolverines are backed up in the shadow of their own goal. Timeout. Rayner, Michigan coming out now from the 2-yard line. First down and 10. A tight formation for the Wolverines. Perry right straight ahead to the 6-yard line. Askew makes the stop, and down there nearby, the action right now is our Jackaroo.
Well, Brent, as you know, it can get very busy, and visually for quarterbacks, it's difficult, especially when you're down in your own end zone. But at 6'6", John Navarre towers above some people, gives them a little better view of the lanes. We're going to let you take a look at it during this play.
From behind Perry, you can see the spacing with the offensive line for the Wolverines. The Spartans had 12 on the field, but he gets off in time. And behind the left side, Perry moving toward the first down marker. And Eric Smith is injured. His left wrist is injured, and they can ill afford to lose him. He's holding that injured wrist as he comes off to the sidelines. A very big member of that secondary.
Chris Smirlin, defensive coordinator, says my two safeties, Smith and Harmon, are the two guys that are the quarterback of the defense. There's the guys we can't lose with all the different formations that Michigan will throw at us.
There's his replacement, number 27, Darren Ware, only a sophomore. Third down and short. It's Perry again to the 15, and a first down for the Wolverines. Well, Michael Benjo sets that defense down there, and we asked him about attacking John Navarre.
He's a pocket passer. You know, we're not too worried about him trying to, break a run or scramble and stuff like that. So I think that if our front four can get pressure on him and hopefully mix up a couple of blitzes in there, hopefully it will affect him.
Some passing room, but Michigan prefers to keep it on the ground with Perry grinding away, still short of the 20-yard line.
Michigan has run the ball effectively in this game so far, even though the first play, remember, Brent, you said 2-3 yards, it's 3 or 4 yards all the time. There's a good push from that offensive line. Doesn't look like big, long runs, but they're controlling the line of scrimmage against this pass-rushing defensive line for Michigan State.
Now Bruston and Calvin Bell come out because it is second down and long. Navarre, pocket holes, complete. Edwards, short of the first down. He's down at the 21-yard line on the short pass, and it will be third down coming up for the Wolverines.
You can see the confusion already for Michigan State in the secondary. People are pointing around, running late to the spot, and it looks like Michigan is snapping the ball very quickly, and so far the Spartans are not getting aligned properly. That will eventually catch up to you.
Third down and 2. Navarre changes it up at the line. Stretch with Perry, slashes, and they get another first down on the run behind the left side. Boss Stenovich over there, 79-75.
Nice job by Tyler Ecker that time, number 89, who's getting more playing time. He hooks into the line of scrimmage right there and controls the end man. Dukes that time. Defensive end for Michigan State. You get that end of the line hooked up like that, Chris Perry's going to get your first down.
Nice pulling guard situation with David Boss. We have another injured Spartan down, and starting to take its toll here. This is not a deep Michigan State team, and already they have lost a starting DB, Eric Smith, and now they're going to be without a second man. Well, speaking of Michigan, former Michigan quarterback Tom Brady has the 6-2 during his Michigan career, And remember, he had to duel with Drew Henson much of the time. He threw for better than 5,000 yards and 35 touchdowns. His career record was 20-5 for the Wolverines. And
remember now, Vickerson is the number 3 nose tackle. Brandon McKinney was their star all Big Ten nose tackle. Kyle Rasmussen also comes in the game as one of the substitutes in this package. But now Michigan State is playing with their 3rd nose tackle.
First down and 10. Play fake by Navarre. Gonna go deep. Got Edwards, underthrew it. Intercepted. Picked off by Harmon. And Harmon comes across midfield as John Navarre underthrows Braylon Edwards.
It has been turnovers all year. There's the guy that gets it right there. John Navarre, big play action pass, good protection, just waits too long. The ball hangs in the free safety. Harmon just makes a good play to it, and turnovers has been the key to this run by Michigan State, and they've got another one.
And they open up quickly from the sideline. The Smoker at quarterback. Hayes, his running back. 4 outside receivers in this package. Remember, not the tight end frequently lines up wide as he does. They toss Hayes, and Hayes is run down by Pierre Woods, the junior linebacker from Cleveland. The neighborhood war here in the state of Michigan. The Wolverines and the Spartans. The Spartans 4-0 in the Big Ten. No score here in the early going. And Michigan State with its 2nd short situation as far as field position is concerned. Boyd Carr across the way, 2nd down and 13. 3 down linemen for the Wolverines. Smoker gonna go deep down sideline, incomplete. The receiver was Matt Trannon, the sophomore from Flint. Incomplete. And let's check in on the Purdue Boilermakers with John. Still smarting from their loss at Ann Arbor. Purdue starting out much differently than they did last week against the Wolverines. From the gun, offensive line holds up, not tight end, juggles it. And
perfect read that time by Eric Knott. Could have been a first down. He settled right into the zone. Jeff Smoker delivered another perfect pass. I thought Trannon should have caught the one down the sideline, and 2 drop balls stalls this drive.
Now let's see if Rayner again plays rugby. Ran to the right, and the key is that all your blockers are going to move in that direction, and they send one through, and here it comes again, away from Bruston. Bruston's got a big hop, wants it to roll, picks it up. Oh, how dangerous is that? He's buried inside the 10-yard line. The star of the game so far is Dave Rayner. Michigan's football when we come back. And 2 years ago here at East Lansing, the Spartans put that 1 second to very, very good use. As you might recall, Jeff Smoker to T.J. Duckett. A painful memory as far as Wolverine fans are concerned. Now Michigan's football. Coming out from the 11-yard line. That's where the spot is. And Perry again slashes to the right. And thrown down at the 14-yard line by Darren Ware, who came off the bench. Gary, let's compare the quarterbacks.
Well, so far it's been a slow start. These 2 guys have been on fire. Jeff Smoker hitting 70% of his passes in the Big Ten, and John Navarre in the last 4 games since that Minnesota quarter when he came back, he's been on fire with 61%. You can see so far both quarterbacks off to a slow start.
And so far, the Spartans have been unable to put that pressure which they know they need. Neither quarterback has been sacked in the game. 2nd down and 6. High formation. It's 23 again. Big hole. First down for Michigan at the 23-yard line. We check in on the Iowa Hawkeyes. Michigan in Iowa. They lost to Michigan State, if you want to compare those 2 games. But, of course, the Wolverines losing at Iowa City. First down and 10. Perry, the workhorse, with 44 yards rushing and coming again. So Perry to the 31-yard line, and the game plan starting to define itself right now. Lloyd Carr wanting to run the ball. Number 23 will take a break right now, and coming in now is David Underwood, his replacement. And Jackaroo, what do you hear about the Spartan injuries?
Well, DB Eric Smith, who passed up both Harvard and Yale to play Spartan football, re-aggravated an existing shoulder injury. They hope to get him back. The same can't be said for the defensive tackle Greg Easter. He's injured a knee. He's out for the rest of the game.
So that a big loss with Easter gone. Second down and 2. Number Underwood, now the running back, and number 5 muscles ahead. So the Wolverines, just when people thought they would come in here and throw to their talented trio of wide receivers, are instead playing old-fashioned Schembechler ball here in the early going, preferring to run the ball, and they have for 55 yards. Lloyd Carr's offense has passed for only 4, Gary.
Well, you know what I think is, you go back a year ago, Michigan State had their problems. Remember, 110th in the country a year ago stopping the run. You look at the matchup, Michigan State might felt a little uneasy about that pass rush, so you come out running, throw later.
Now Rimbert slashes out as the receiver, and he drops the ball. Well, tomorrow on Alias, she was lost for 2 years.
When a team is leading the conference in sacks, not a bad game plan to go at them with the running game. Remember also, Michigan, if they had one problem this year, has been playing on the road. Iowa, Oregon, even Minnesota. On the road, they haven't been the same team.
Second down and 10. Breston's the motion wide out, putting 3 on the right for Navarre, who fires in that direction to Edwards. Edwards runs for a first down to the 48-yard line, and now Michigan with its best field position as they near midfield, and now they can start to open it up here.
The difference in this game so far, the Michigan offensive line is controlling the football game. Running the ball, they're winning at the line of scrimmage. Throwing the ball, no pressure yet on John Navarre. If that keeps up, Michigan State will not win.
Jason Abant is off to the left. I mean, the draw play with Perry back on the field. He comes across midfield. And we asked Lloyd Carr about the focus of this Michigan team.
Early in the Big Ten season, and that always puts your back to the wall. We had some disappointments, and yet they've hung in there, and now they have an opportunity to reach some of the goals they set, and I think that has really focused them.
Now, that early loss, a setback, especially with the second overall loss coming against Iowa. Now with his second down and 5, an impressive drive so far for the Wolverines. Comes Perry, got a hole in the middle, nears the 40-yard line. And he came across that yellow line down there before Seth Mitchell, number 48, makes the stop on number 23.
Let's talk a little bit about what Michigan's trying to do in this football game. Number one, they must harass Jeff Smoker. 12 sacks last time here in 2001. Yards after the catch. When you throw short, just like Braylon Edwards caught that short one, they have to be able to run. And special teams have killed them on the road. They cannot give that phase away in the game.
Chris Perry, the lone running back. It's Preston 15. And Navarre takes a deep drop to set the screen and then threw it away. Perry was between 2 linemen, so there was a receiver in the vicinity. The crowd wanted intentional grounding, but Perry was between a couple of linemen, and not a good-looking screen play setup.
This is the key. When the center and the fullback and the tailback go the same direction, Michigan State reads screen, and they do a great job reading this play off. You see the ball thrown away by Navarre. That's their key. When the tailback, the remaining back, and the center go the same direction, Michigan State's alert is key, and they did it perfectly.
Michigan State continuing to rotate defensive backs. Harmon back on the field. Now on second down, it's Perry running to the 35-yard line. It'll be third down and about 4 yards to come. The Jeep rushing playbook, Gary.
Well, the big guys up front for Michigan have been controlling it. Bo Schembechler would love it so far in this football game. They're just coming out mano-mano, running the football, getting their big, talented tailback, Chris Perry, into the second level by just coming up strong up front. You can tell the challenge has been put by Lloyd Carr. Come on, big guys. Don't expect our little specialists to win every game.
Perry has already rushed for 68 yards here in the opening quarter. Now Navarre to throw for it, broken up beautifully. Number 25, Jason Harmon, the junior from Ironton, Ohio.
What I notice about the Michigan State secondary, because they face the pass so much in practice with the spread offense that John L. Smith has brought, they're much more comfortable with the ball in the air than I've seen them in years doing Michigan State games. They used to always panic every time somebody threw the ball. Now they're comfortable, they're used to getting their hands on it instead of just going for the tackle.
A long field goal attempt. Garrett Rivas is on the field. Gutierrez is the holder. He's the backup quarterback, remember. This would be a 53, and they're going to pooch punt out of it. And it goes out of bounds inside, right about the 10-yard line, I believe, is where it's going to be marked. So they set up for a field goal, a little bit of a different formation, but they angle punt. Pooch as Rivas out of Tampa, Florida, hits it off to the right side. Well, we asked Jeff Smoker why this Michigan State team is different.
Offense, defense, special teams, you know, out on the field. We don't have any individuals. Nobody's selfish. Everyone gets along, and we're just out there playing together as a team and enjoying being with each other.
Jeff Smoker now in a scoreless tie here with 3 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the opening quarter.
I think they're going to hold up play to take Easter off the field. The cart is on the sideline. I don't know if they're going to stop play, but the golf cart is out there.
They've just announced to the crowd, Gary, that that's exactly what they're going to do, is remove the injured player, Greg Easter. He's from Montrose, Michigan. He's Michigan State with only the one loss at number 10. And, of course, Oklahoma and the Miami Hurricanes in complete control. As long as they remain unbeaten, they would head for the Nokia Sugar Bowl. But there's a whole lot of those one-loss fellas who just can't wait for chaos to break out. And Oklahoma playing an arch rival in Norman. Miami with a tough game tonight against Virginia Tech in Blacksburg. And let's hope that Greg Easter is going to be fine. Coming out from their own 10, John L. Smith Spartans will line Smoker up in the gun and then bring the running back into the left side of the quarterback in that formation, drop him out underneath and thrown incomplete that time. Let's check in on Texas, Nebraska. The Longhorns, too, are hoping that Oklahoma stubs its toe along the way because they were blown out by the Sooners in Dallas. Again, the backfield is empty. Second down and 10 from behind number 9, Smoker. With Joe Tater's left guard. Content to drop it off to Hayes and not doing much with it. That basically is a running play when you drop it off to him in that situation. This will be third and long. Reed, number 42, making the stop.
Hey, I mean, a great stop on that play. Look at what Michigan State wants to do in this football game. Of course, they must get to John Navarre. Must be able to keep their run-pass balance. Purdue made a big mistake last week going away from the run. And on forced errors, John L. Smith said, we can't beat ourselves in this football game. If Michigan beats us, let them do it on the field. Let's not drop balls and have penalties and all that stuff against ourselves.
Against Purdue, Michigan was far more apt to show the blitz. Here it's been a four-man rush and back to cover. And Smoker high, incomplete, intended for Matt Trennan.
Yeah, the same things happen in the secondary, though, Brent. The Michigan defensive backs feel confident against the speed of the Michigan State receivers. They are jumping on every route. You watch them, no backup, nothing right there. You see Curry, he's jumping, he's jumping. Michigan State must establish a couple deep balls or those throws will get tougher as the game goes on.
Remember, we said it was a two-headed punter, and here comes the big leg now, Brandon Fields. Preston fields it. They use the sideline and not much of a return. He's down at the 44-yard line. So on the deep punch, use the sideline, which they did, and we send you down below to Jack.
Brett, let's go back to last year outside of Spartan Stadium. Fans were greeted by two giant billboards that said where there was smoke, showing Jeff Smoker, there was fire, showing Charles Rogers. The first thing that John L. Smith did is got rid of those type of posters. He said no I in team, they're generic posters now. He outlawed the #1 jersey. He outlawed demonstrations to the crowd. He also said you don't do anything to draw attention to individuals. It's all about the team. That's John L. Smith's way.
Always has been. When he took over down in Louisville, did an outstanding job down there. Chris Perry, the tailback for the Wolverines, who's been the workhorse. He's thrown down short of midfield by Clifford Dukes, the junior from Lexington Park, Maryland. Perry has run for 74 yards. I should say the entire Michigan team.
Yeah, watch this, Brent. Tony Pape, the big tackle. Watch him wall off, come down, just take him on, moves his feet, stays in front of the guy, and keeps him moving upfield. That is great tackle play. That's what Michigan is seeing and why they're running the ball.
3 yards, and it's 2nd down and 7. Play fake. Good block by Perry. Fires complete. First down inside the 5 to Avant. So again, Michigan threatening as they did on their last series. We're scoreless with 1:26 to go in the opening quarter.
Watch the tight end come across and get knocked down by the linebacker. Because the linebacker gets knocked down, there's a big space right there. Watch, linebacker bites. Now look at all that space to throw in. That's real easy for a quarterback. Linebackers, no depth, easy to throw the ball in those crossing routes. Run the ball, throw the crossing routes behind the linebackers. Hasn't changed since the 60s.
Michigan preferring to run so far on first down. Let's see if they continue that tendency. The stretch with Perry. Fumble, and he may have wrapped it back up. So number 23 put it down. And remember, that was one of his difficulties a couple of years ago, but he reached back with his left arm and secured the football. But it'll now be 2nd down and long. And now today in this situation, Michigan has shown a tendency to pass.
Yeah, they sure have. Chris Perry's been a little fortunate this year. He had it on the ground against Minnesota. Remember that game, Brent? And then last week against Purdue, when it was a 14-0 game, he put it on the ground, and Purdue gave it back to him for another recovery of their own fumble.
Braylon Edwards, the ever-dangerous one, is off to the right side in Navarre's formation. Using Preston in motion, he becomes a slot man. Navarre looks in that direction, comes in underneath Avant, and first down for the Wolverines just inside the 20-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 now, and Michigan with its first opportunity today in the red zone for Coach Carr.
What a great read by John Navarre. You better put pressure on this guy because he is reading him like a fifth-year senior should. 3-on-2 coverage. He picks the guy that's covered by 1 and delivers a strike.
Carr and the Wolverines want to go to the other end. They're going to let the final seconds roll out. They'll get the wind at their back for the 2nd quarter. And we'll return after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Right here, right now, right here, right now.
Chris Perry carried the ball 16 times in the opening quarter for 74 yards. And he is set in there along with Kevin Dudley, the lead fullback, on 1st and 10. Here he comes again, and he crosses the 15-yard line. And so Gary Danielson, an interesting game plan by the Wolverines. They came in here thinking that their offensive line could control the front.
And they're right. They challenged an offensive line, and they have done it. I think the other big factor of this game, Michigan State appears to be a little tight. Drop balls. Jeff Smoker can't be 2 for 9 throwing the ball and expect to be in the game. Their whole offense is based on completing high percentage passes.
And, of course, the Spartans also lost a couple of players because of injuries. Yeaster is gone for the game. 2nd down and short, and Perry is the hammer. Short of that yellow first down marker, however, he is brought down, and now it will be 3rd and short. That's the 18th carry of the game for senior running back Chris Perry from North Carolina.
Very interesting how a game kind of evolves and why strategy plays a big part of it. Michigan is the best passing team in the Big Ten, and Michigan State is the worst pass defense in the Big Ten. So what does Michigan do? They establish the run in the football game. That'll pay off with some big plays later in the game. You have to believe that in the passing game.
Lloyd Carr on that far side. Fred Jackson, one of his assistants. They want this first down. They want the hammer. Navarre goes himself behind the middle. Dave Pearson, fifth-year senior from Brighton, Michigan. Number 57 is the center in there. The left side of this offensive line has blocked extremely well here today. David Boss, a fine pulling guard, a candidate for the All-Big Ten team next to Adam Stenovich. And on the right side, Matt Lentz and Tony Pape. With this strategy, Michigan is not allowing the defensive coordinator and the players of Michigan State to get after him with the sack and try to force him out of the comfort zone. Instead, the Wolverines are just burrowing straight ahead. First down and goal. Navarre to put it up on first down, fires in zone, dropped. A touchdown in the making, and it was dropped by Andy Minery, the tight end.
We bounced it right between the 1 and 4. Andy Minery, an old quarterback, worked his way into playing time at tight end. He's got one touchdown pass. There's Minery right there. You'll see it. John Navarre does a great job. Little flash play action pass, holds the linebacker, puts it right in the face mask and the numbers for a sure touchdown. Another drop ball.
Timeout called by the Spartans, giving Minery time to think even more about his missed timeout. And as you can see from that stat, Michigan dominated the clock. They've had it for 13 and a half minutes to only 3:10 for Michigan State. Second down and goal for Navarre and the Wolverines. Perry with a deep set. Stretch, middle, open, Perry toward the end zone. Still no indication, and Braylon Edwards is locked up with a defensive back. The line judge spotting the ball at the 1 after he broke them up as they became tangled. And Perry, he has been the real deal here today. He has never rushed for 100 yards on the road, but he's closing in with 91 so far.
Simple stretch play. Matt Lentz is the guy that blocks the point of attack, the guard right there. When you have second down and 9 from the 9-yard line and you take it to the 1-inch line, come on, Michigan State, you must stop the run.
Frankly, I thought that looked like a touchdown when I looked at that replay that Bob Goodrich put up there for us. Perry up over the top, and this time he's got it. No doubt about this one, as the line judge throws up his arms, and so Perry said, well, if you don't give it to me the first time, how about this one up over the top now? He's carried the ball 20 times, 92 yards, and 1 touchdown. Let me go back and emphasize that the young man has never rushed for 100 yards on the road. He's going to have it before the half, the way things are going, and he's playing with fire in his belly here today with Garrett Rivas on the field now for the extra point. Seven 0 Michigan.
And don't think that the Michigan teammates didn't notice what we noticed, how tough he played last week when he got hit early.
You remember our headline on the lineup, one tough Wolverine, his 13th rushing touchdown this season. That's one of the largest freestanding ceramic figures in the world, and Jack Arute telling us before the game that when they remodel this stadium, they're going to move Sparty front and center in the front gate. So Sparty's due for a change of location to look over, and that means the band won't have to protect him on Friday night before the Michigan game. Kickoff toward the goal line. Deandra Cobb, the JC transfer, slips one short of the 25-yard line. Tomorrow, Vijay Singh can pull out a win at the Chrysler Champion. The Spartans will try to get the ball a little bit further downfield with their passing game, Gary, huh?
Yeah, I think Michigan State's finding what Purdue found right now. The talent in the secondary by Michigan. They are jamming all the receivers, and Michigan State's receivers need to make some plays. Eric Knott right here can't drop a wide open pass and expect to beat this Michigan defense.
Is cut off, now slides outside and runs to about the 29-yard line. He made a 6-yard run before Willis Behringer And so Michigan again is playing without the injured Marlon Jackson, and Willis Behringer has stepped in. Here in the first half, the Wolverines threatening a couple of times, finally punch it in as Perry has rushed for 92 yards.
I think that's a good move by Michigan. I mean, as well as Michigan played, they didn't make any mental assignments mistakes last week against Purdue. Why change up?
2nd and 5. Hayes behind the middle of the offensive line is stopped at around the 30-yard line. And well, it's time for this week's Aflac trivia question. Who was the only Michigan State quarterback to be drafted in the first round of the NFL draft? Now, there's a whole lot of Spartans through the years, like Bubba Smith, George Webster, Gene Washington. They weren't quarterbacks, folks. Who was the only quarterback to be drafted in the first round of the NFL draft? The only hint I'll give you is I met his son down on the sidelines prior to the game.
Well, that narrows it. There's 70,000 people here.
I never said I was going to help you get the answer. I just give you it. 3rd down. LeSueur cheats up and backs off, and they run in that direction with a draw play. Tyrell Dortch for a first down. The first time that we have seen that play from the Spartans, and the chains are moved.
I saw Jaron Hayes come off the game limping a bit. He's got a bad toe. He hurt it against Minnesota. Even though he had a week off, I watched him practice Thursday. He did not look 100% to me, and he's already limped off once in this game. That's why Dortch is in the game, and he does not catch the ball as well as Hayes.
Alexander's off to the right. Here's Dortch on a cutback, and he is stopped in the hole by Carl Diggs, the linebacker from Warren, Ohio, for the Wolverines.
Boy, that Michigan defensive line does such a great job. Gabe Watson right there, big number 78 is in the game. Excuse me, right here, Brent. Michigan State goes to their attack offense. 2 plays.
Smoker goes back, goes right sideline, high cut. Great grab that time by Aaron Alexander, the sophomore wide receiver, and Michigan State is at the Wolverine 41-yard line.
I watched them practice this Thursday. They did an attack. It's like half a 2-minute drill. Sometimes they just call 2 plays in a huddle, and they make Michigan be aware that you're not going to get your defensive unit on. Here's just an easy, skinny post. Perfect throw from Smoker.
Smoker is looking now for a comfort zone. Trannon's off to his right. To the 39-yard line. We take a closer look now as Jeff Smoker, number 9.
A 4-year player here. Let's break him down a bit. The first thing you notice when you watch him on film, he's like one of those pitchers with 2 pitches. He's got a fastball when he wants it. He's got that nice changeup. Great touch to lay it right in there. And he is tough. We saw him take 12 sacks 2 years ago. Been there, done that. 4-year starter. He's seen every defense in this spread. He will not be fooled.
Kyle Brown, who's been injured, is on the field for the Spartans, number 3. He's one of the wide receivers off to Smoker's left. 2nd down. Hayes is obviously all right. Been back on the field. Smoker looking down deep. Got him inside the 15-yard line. Trannon again, the sophomore from Flint. He's a young man that Michigan recruited heavily. They got Woodley from Saginaw, but they lost Trannon to the Spartans.
Trannon 6'6", and you watch Jeff Smoker throw a perfect 6'6" strike. When you talk to Dave Baldwin, the quarterback offensive coordinator for Michigan State, he says the best thing Jeff Smoker does, and I've never had anybody better, is throw the ball accurately.
So the Spartans playing a little possum, and now they're getting deep on the outside. First down and 10 from the 11-yard line. Hayes, the running back, on the stretch, looking right. Stopped at the 9-yard line. Ernest Shazer, the junior from Detroit, and what a good-looking football player number 25 is. He stands about 6'4", and we take a look at this passing attack. The depth and youth. No seniors among their top 7 receivers, and of course Jaron Hayes, we've seen him as a safety valve. But it revolves around Trannon, and now Kyle Brown back on the field. It is 2nd down from inside the 10-yard line for the Spartans. Looking for the tying score here. Quarterback draw. Smoker stopped at the 6-yard line. That'll be 3rd down from right there. The Spartans can get a first down inside the 1-yard line. They do have a 3rd down. It looks like, about 5 or 6 yards for a first down in this situation.
Just remember the spot last week. Purdue decided to go with the fade pass against Leon Hall, the freshman cornerback for Michigan. Trannon is out there, the 6'6" receiver matched up on Hall. Let's see if they try that again.
Hall, a very athletic young corner, great future freshman, had 2 interceptions. Now coming to his feet here at East Lansing. Smoker gets protection, slides Hayes short of the goal line and short of the first down. Brings up a 4th down now for John L. Smith, who must make a decision, and he doesn't hesitate. Here comes Rayner onto the field. John L. Smith wants to put points on the board. He did not even think about going for the 2 yards and a first down. Man flat out knows what he wants to do on a sideline. No timeout wasted, nothing. He just said, get out there, let's get the 3.
Oh, well, very smart. Great answer by Michigan State. They drove down the field. You have to get points.
Brandon Fields, the punter, puts it down for the hold. And Rayner with a 19-yarder puts the Spartans on the board. 7-3, an impressive drive. The difference, Jeff Smoker got deep with the passing attack for the first time today. The Spartans scoring drive starting back on their own 23-yard line, and 7 runs and 3 passing plays for Jeff Smoker, who is 5 of 12 now for 69 yards on the day. Ball on the tee for Rayner at the 35-yard line, and for the Wolverines it'll be LeSueur and Rembert back deep. This is LeSueur, the defensive back, at the 25-yard line. Well, earlier we asked you a half-like trivia question: who was the only Michigan State quarterback to be drafted in the 1st round? The answer, Earl Morrall, who was drafted by, folks, the San Francisco 49ers in '56. Then they drafted John Brodie the next year. He was traded to Pittsburgh, and then he came to Detroit in the Bobby Lane deal. And Earl Morrall played 21 years in the NFL with 6 teams, 4 Super Bowl teams. His son, now on the Orange Bowl committee, is here watching Michigan State. Perry is stopped in the middle by the Big Green defense that time. And here's the rushing story, Gary.
And it's always been about this. We talked about it in the open. Yeah, it's pass protection. Yeah, it's catching. But if you win the rushing game in this football game, you usually win. Michigan has started the game, and even though they got the great receivers, when you talk to defensive coordinators around the league, the reason they feel this team goes is that guy right there, Chris Perry, number 23. The combination of both makes him tough to stop.
Navarre spots the safety off to the left. They now tighten up on the outside receivers. Navarre steps up away from the pressure, going to take it off to the 32-yard line. Made the most of trouble. Kyle Rasmussen, number 97 there. Let's get an update now. Let's send you to New York. See shootout down there. 2 touchdowns for each team. Here we've had only 1 touchdown and a field goal for Michigan State. 3rd down now. Crowd alive, yelling for the Green defense to stop him. Navarre fires, got his first down. Braylon Edwards with a power move after the catch. And our Pacific Life game summary is the story, of course, the hammer being delivered by number 23, Perry, 94 yards here in the first half, leading the Wolverines on their scoring drive and over the top for 6.
Even on Michigan State's drive, they opened up with 3 straight runs to get that initial first down. Both teams are not giving up on the running game.
They come with that running game. Perry to the 40-yard line, picking up 3. And let's check in with Jack on Chris Perry.
Well, Brett, if you ask Michigan's running back coach Fred Jackson what he felt was lacking in Chris Perry 1 year ago, he said it was his peripheral vision. He said he didn't get as many potential yards after he got the run because he couldn't see the holes opening up. He worked all summer on that aspect of his game, and now Fred Jackson says he's got real wide-eyed peripheral vision.
How do you work on that peripheral vision? I might try that.
The big 3 for the Wolverines trot onto the field at the same time. An obvious passing situation, and then they run out of it. But Perry is stopped at the 43-yard line by Greg Taplin, the senior from Hollywood, Florida. Michigan State always seems to recruit several players out of Florida, and no exception. They've got a young man from Dwyer High School down in Jupiter in that defensive line. Lorenzo White, their great running back, is here watching the game today. And so Perry, for the first time, rushes for 100 yards on a road game. and this is just the first half. On third down, Navarre to the middle, incomplete, and Michigan forced a punt.
Tyler Ecker decided to slow down and hold in the seam just as John Navarre was leading him across the field. The miscommunication in the pass route, the receiver reading zone, the quarterback reading man coverage where the receiver would keep going, cost him the first down.
Now let's see if John L. Smith's got any kind of a punt block on against Finley. Kavanaugh is back deep. Under pressure, Finley gets it off. Kavanaugh, returnable, looks for an alley to the right. Trapped and down at the 29-yard line. Jeff Smoker and the Spartans will take over there, trailing Michigan 7-3. Watch this young man here. It's number 5. It's Drew Stanton, and he is the backup quarterback at Michigan State. May replace Jeff Smoker as the starter for the Spartans. He's a baseball player, redshirt freshman from Farmington Hills, Michigan. Gary, you don't see backup quarterbacks get close to a punter like that very often. And
he was again Shabai's quarterback in high school.
Smoker now under center on a first down. Underneath. And he puts it right into Aaron Alexander's hands. We have a flag. Again, Whitvote. And it's holding against the Spartans. Well, tomorrow, Jason Teague on the field as the running back for the Spartans.
Watch Jeff Smoker's great touch on this crossing route. He knows he's getting pressure. He throws it completely off balance and just leads his guy. Watch. Doesn't set it just a nice, easy. Kind of throws him a soft pass. That's what he's doing so well.
They cluster 4 on the left. Michigan shows pressure on the left side of the defense. Smoker runs hard in that direction. Gets it underneath. And it's incomplete. He was trying to put it in Alexander's hands.
Well, he put it in his hands, but another drop ball. That's 3 of them. Michigan State started moving the ball when they threw the ball downfield. You must get Michigan off their toes. They're just rocking forward and playing everything in front of them. You have to throw a few deep balls. Michigan State did it last time. Now with this long yardage situation, look for screens or wide receiver screens to not make a big mistake.
And again, the tight end, Eric Knott, split way off the formation over to the left side of Smoker. Jaron Hayes alongside. He'll slip out as a receiver. He's a safety valve. Smoker fires complete to the 35-yard line. Juggled right there.
Another drop.
And so the dropsies continue here as we check in on Texas with John. Large BCS bids, don't they? Because they've lost a couple of games. Tough one to Arkansas and Austin, and then the Red River shootout against Oklahoma in Dallas.
Watch out for Texas the next 3 years. Vince Young's going to be a star.
They're down in 20.
Jeff Smoker was very animated after this last throw. He threw a perfect strike, gunned it in there, second and long. Ball was dropped, clearly dropped, and Jeff Smoker just kind of gave it to everybody in the huddle. He knows they must play better.
Defensive line holds, and here's Hayes on the screen, and Michigan blows it up. Grant Bowman, the 5th-year senior from Columbus, Ohio, playing with an injured knee here today, makes the play, read it perfectly, and it's a 6-yard loss on the play by Bowman. And Michigan State now must punt it away, and no doubt they'll go to the big leg here. Number 8, Brandon Fields. And again, Rustin favoring one hash over the other, goes to the right side. Hop past him as the Spartans were there, and of course I'm sure the coaches alerted him on that sideline. Don't be picking up a ball with people all over you like that. Just let it roll dead, and that's where John Navarre, the Wolverines, will put it in play. And coming up at the Capital One halftime, senior quarterback John Navarre, 6'6", 228 pounds. Youngster out of Wisconsin. He's also caught a touchdown pass. Throwback from Bruston in that comeback win over Minnesota, which turned around the Wolverine season. First down for Michigan on the 38-yard line. Breaston breaks free, incomplete. He still overthrew him as Breaston with a step on the corner.
That's a good way to come out and loosen up that defense. Michigan State came out in 5 defensive backs. They are matching up on Breaston. When Breaston comes in the game, Michigan State goes 5 DBs. At that time, he ran right by Darren Barnett, and John Navarre threw it just a little too long. But message sent to Michigan State: don't jump on our crossing routes.
Second down and 10. Calvin Bell split out to the left side of this obvious passing situation for Navarre and the Wolverines. They set the screen with Chris Perry. Perry, first down at the 49-yard line, and the Wolverines are at midfield with 2:14 left on the clock here in the first half, and Michigan with all 3 of its timeouts remaining.
Number 42, Mike Labinjo, a pass rusher in their 3-down lineman for Michigan State. Looks like he's just getting off late and not even coming close to the quarterback when he's rushing the quarterback. He needs to get off on the snap.
Avant is the slot man for Navarre on first down. Play fake, and they're going to throw on first down. Edwards clears middle too high. Second down and 10.
That might be a good call on 1st and 10 with 8 minutes to go in the quarter, but with 1:57 to go right now, Michigan State is thinking pass, and they did not fall for the play-action pass. Double coverage on Edwards, and when we talked to the Michigan State coaches, they said that John Navarre, the one guy he'll throw to, even if he's covered, is Braylon Edwards, and we saw him make some great catches last week, and we kind of understand why.
Second down, Edwards is off to the left. Anthony Avant to the right side of the formation. Now run Perry again to the middle. Close to another first down. Short of the 40-yard line. Darren Ware, who was forced into the lineup because of the injury to Smith.
2 best offensive linemen, Dave Pierce and Dave Boss, center and left guard. Watch them wall them off. They just do it, and there's a big hole right there. Look at that. Block, block. Gash them right through there. That's the way to do it. Get a man on there, get Chris Perry into the secondary.
Kevin Dudley figures to lead the way. Here comes Perry. A cutback. It's going to be very close. Looks like he stretched over and got the first down, crosses the yellow line. And let's check in again on the Hawkeye. 111-yard first half for running back Chris Perry. First down and 10. Navarre. Edwards breaks free. Got it. Touchdown, Michigan. Braylon Edwards with one-on-one coverage, turned around, makes the 40-yard reception, and the Wolverines with their second touchdown of the game.
Cannot emphasize enough the need in college football to throw the ball deep. The defensive backs are not that good, and you must use your weapons downfield. John Navarre puts it up in the air. It's not a perfectly thrown ball, but Braylon Edwards has 4 seconds to find it. He adjusted the ball, and he beats Maples very simply.
Garrett Rivas slides one off to the right, no good. Garrett Rivas misses an extra point. And the lead is only 10 as the result 13-3. And sometimes those missed extra points can come back and haunt you. Now watch Matt Gutierrez. He is the holder here. Didn't get it spun as Rivas moved up on it and slipped it off to the side.
Let's go back to the catch. One thing I noticed on that takeoff is Braylon Edwards did a great job of knocking the arms away from Maples. Watch him knock the arms. Gets an arm bar, just whacks them away, and then finds the ball and adjusts inside. That ball was thrown inside about 5 yards from where it should, but Braylon finds it, and Edwards just makes the play. Special wide receiver, Braylon Edwards.
Michigan State with 1 minute 3 to go and a couple of timeouts to work with here. Smoker, of course, will have number 6 Trannon, number 10 Eric Alexander to work with, but the first thing they're looking for is a very good return by Cobb. Number 21 will go back deep. Nienberg with the ball on the tee. He's the kickoff man for the Wolverines. Give Cobb a chance on a run up sideline. Crosses the 20-yard line at the 21-yard line. So the Big Ten coming. It's unbelievable to see that Penn State hasn't won a game.
One of the little formulas that Michigan State uses is their 12% rule. You add up turnovers, sacks, drops, and penalties, and divide it by the total plays. You've got 4 drops already in this football game. That doesn't look good for Michigan State.
59 seconds to go. Smoker uses his tight end, but only for a couple of yards. The clock running now with 50 seconds, and Woods making the stop. You mentioned the drop balls.
It started right away. Hayes drops one on the easy swing. Tight end Eric Knott drops one. Saw Trannon drop one. There's Eric Alexander. So everyone's taking their turn. They go back to the coach and say, Coach, I only dropped one, but 4 different guys did it.
Second down and 7 for Smoker. It's time. Slides it to the outside to Dortch. Stops the clock with 23 seconds remaining in the first half. Jeff Smoker is 7 of 60, or make it 8 of 17 for 73 yards. Navarre, incidentally, 7 of 17 for 104 yards. The biggest offensive player on the field was Perry for the Wolverines. 25 carries for 111 yards here in the first half.
I like the patience of Jeff Smoker. With 20 seconds to go, you just can't afford to make a turnover on your end of the field and give Michigan a chance for a field goal.
By 10, again the offensive line against that 3-man rush. He'll drop it off underneath to Kavanaugh, who will stop the clock. Now they bring it down to 15 seconds. Remember, there's a very strong leg over here in Rayner, as the Spartans with 2 timeouts, 15 seconds. And of course, when you move the chains, the clock stops momentarily as the officials reset it and then get it started. Smoker taking the play from the sideline now.
Now you can throw the ball downfield. An interception doesn't kill you now. You throw the ball 25, 30 yards down.
Whistle dead.
Well, that came right from the Michigan bench. The Lions have been standing right there, so somebody must have flinched on Michigan State.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5 yards. The down remains first.
Who called that one? John L. wants to know. Was that Lloyd or who over there?
Who, me? I never complained about the officials' call.
Well, he's got his team playing well now. Well, Michigan's playing as well as anyone in the country right now.
Shy of Oklahoma. First down and 15. Smoker steps middle. Got Kavanaugh again, stops the clock with 10 seconds, and we're getting closer and closer to Rayner time.
Well, Jeff Smoker in person is really amazing to watch. You watch him on television, you don't get a feel, we got tapes of games, you don't get a feel of how well he works the pocket, how he knows how to throw the ball real high sometimes, zip it in there other times. He is a quarterback that has really learned his craft.
10 seconds to go. Still 2 timeouts. Working that sideline with Kavanaugh. In time. Going to go for the bundle deep. Incomplete. He threw the triple coverage that time as Shavai was looking for interference down at the 5-yard line. So Smoker decided to take a crack at it, and Rayner now trots onto the field with 4 seconds.
Yeah, he read the cover too deep, and you want to attack the middle, but something's happening right there. It's called Tampa 2. See the deep drop by the linebackers now? It's all been copied by Tampa Bay, and that linebacker is just running 30 yards deep. One of the defenses that Michigan uses in every game, and misread by Smoker.
A 57-yard attempt. He had a 63-yarder in practice yesterday going in this direction. No good. Time runs out on the first half with Michigan leading Michigan State by 10 points, 13-3. Chris Perry, the star of the first half, 25 carries for 111 yards. Michigan ran for 121, and Michigan State only 18. Wolverines with 225 yards of offense, and Michigan State with 125. So we'll return after this message and a word from our ABC station. And right now, Chris Perry and the Michigan offense doing most of the rocking here as we check in on the Pacific Life game summary first half statistics. And Perry leading the way with 111 of those 121 rush yards. And you can see that Michigan is dominating plays, and they've had 8 minutes more of possession time, Gary. But even having said that, it's only a 10-point game right now. Michigan State is far, far from out of this. Jeff Smoker has not thrown an interception yet today. John Navarre has one.
You know, Brent, we always get caught up in these quarterbacks all the time. Can Navarre win on the road? Can Jeff Smoker come back? And we're all guilty of it. But look, it's been Michigan's offensive line has been able to dominate this football game. Michigan State, if they want a chance to win it, their front seven must stop Chris Perry, or they have no chance to win this football game.
Well, Michigan State will get the ball to start the second half here. They will have the first possession of the game. Jeff Smoker getting ready on the sideline. And Jack and Root, what the coaches have to say.
Well, Brent, not surprisingly, there was no comment that was derogatory by Lloyd Carr. In fact, he was happy. He was concerned about maintaining focus. Now, on the side of the ball with John L. Smith, he said, we got to get everybody to play on the same page.
Light mist in the air. Cobb fields it at the 1-yard line. Spins free. And a fine return out to the 34-yard line. And Gary, our out-of-whack stat involves those Spartans of Michigan State.
When you lead the nation in sacking the quarterback, and you've got what one of the Spartans said was a sitting duck behind that offensive line, you come up with no sacks. Maybe a little bit too much talking by Michigan State prior to this game.
Shabai, Knott, Trennan, Alexander out wide. Hayes in the backfield behind Smoker. Fine return by Cobb, and good opening field position here to start the second half. Little green here now being broken out here. Here's Hayes. Makes his way to the 37-yard line. Diggs makes the stop. And the comparison here between Navarre and Smoker, and of course only the one interception thrown by John, Garrett.
Both of these guys, I believe, have done their job in this football game. The rest of their teammates, and I agree with what John L. said, the loss of Eric Smith on defense has caused some problems for Michigan State lining up and fitting in both their run fits and pass fits. It's been a problem.
3 wide for Smoker, now off to the right as they cluster there. He'll throw in underneath now to Alexander, and Alexander stretches for the first down across the 45-yard line to the 46. Making the most out of that opening possession of the second half. The Spartans down by 10.
Watch how perfectly this ball is thrown to Alexander. He scrapes off, the ball is thrown, it's like a long handoff. Never has to break stride, is able to turn the corner and pick up the first down. That's what Jeff Smoker, that's a scouting report on him, and that's what he's done so well in the game.
For the second week in a row, no sign of number 3, Marlon Jackson. He's missing from the Wolverine secondary on first down. Smoker and the Spartans elect to throw it, and a beautiful play by LeSueur. Yeah. Number 21, Jeremy LeSueur, who of course contributed mightily to that heartbreaking loss a couple years ago when he grabbed Charles Rogers' face mask on 4th and 16, is maturing into one of the better defensive backs in the Big Ten.
I had my eyes, Brent, on LeSueur the whole way. He never got out of his back pedal. He has no respect for Akeem Shabai going deep, and unless they do throw the ball deep on him, he'll knock the next one down.
Shabai being shut out so far in this game. 2nd down and 10 for Smoker and the Spartans. Referring to run, there's a hole on the right side, and Hayes crashes to the 46-yard line, and a big 2nd down run, because now it's a makeable 3rd down, and the Spartans can either pass or run in this situation, which will leave the Michigan defensive staff guessing as to what the personnel is that they might want on the field. Smoker looking over to the sideline to get the signal here for a 3rd and 4. Back in the shotgun. Using Shabai as a slot off to the left. Middle. Got it right at the marker into the hands of Trennan as he was crossing, and it'll depend where they spotted Leon Hall, the freshman defensive back, bringing him down.
The short crossing routes of this spread offense a little different than Purdue's. Purdue likes to go a little more option routes, and you see that ball coming across the middle. What you must do on these crossing routes if you're a quarterback is be accurate. Again, watch this, perfect. Guy's open by 1 yard, throw 1 yard in front of him, and that's an easy pitch and catch.
The chains will move right at the mark. The ball at the Wolverine 44-yard line. Michigan shows pressure. Flea flicker. Smoker back. Going deep middle. Underthrows. Kavanaugh almost caught it on the rebound. It was deflected. Kavanaugh had a shot at the rebounding football, but it fell harmlessly away on the flea flicker.
Well, it's another drop ball for Jeff Smoker, but this time it was a good one because Marcus Curry should have intercepted this pass. Flea flicker, worked on it in practice 4 times, and that's about as covered as you can get, and Kavanaugh could have saved it for a touchdown.
2nd down and 10, and Smoker back in the shotgun for Coach John L. Smith and the Spartans. Run Hayes back on a little bit of a counter, and he steps away from it to the right-hand side to the 37-yard line, and freshman Lamar Woodley out of Saginaw, number 56, making the stop here in East Lansing. As we had a prediction of rain late this afternoon, and the clouds starting to close in. Our 2 key plays in the game: Perry up over the top, and Edwards on the deep strike. But they missed an extra point, so that's why Michigan is sitting on a 13-3 lead, up 10 here in the 3rd quarter. 3rd down and 4. Smoker, quick fire out wide, nothing doing. Read beautifully by big Ernest Shazer. Boy, some NFL team gonna love his body for a safety.
You're right, he is really coming on.
220.
Shazor's just out of the picture here, but he reads it really quickly. Smoker does a great job on reading the blitz. He's got a hot, but when you are as well schooled as Michigan is right now on defense, Jim Herman has these guys playing and reading very quickly. Those hots should be gobbled up just like Michigan did.
Now Rayner on the field, the position punter. Punted beautifully on the rugby look. They demonstrate that they're coming right again, and they're going to go downfield on it. So they break a gunner free on it, but it's out of bounds and a beauty. So Rayner nails one inside the 10-yard line. That's where John Navarre will have it at the 7 coming out.
Yeah, that was great.
Working for.
When Jim
111 yards rushing, Gary, for Chris Perry.
Yeah, and you can see it right there. There's one tackle, there's the other tackle, and it has been right up the heart of this Michigan State defense. Can't stop the inside run. Might as well forget about what you're doing behind it, because they'll just keep pounding, and then they'll go up top and get you up top like they did with Braylon Edwards.
The center, Dave Pearson. The right guard, Matt Lynch. And the left guard, David Boz from Sarasota, Florida, Brighton, Michigan, and Ortonville, Michigan. And here he comes again, stepping over to the left, crossing the 10-yard line on that 1st down carry. So Michigan's running game so far has spelled the difference in this football game for Lloyd Carr.
When you're running the ball, as we talked about in the open, Brent, maybe the old-time Michigan State game, the fullback has to be doing well, and Kevin Dudley, number 32, has been finding the linebackers, getting through those double teams up front, and getting his shoulder pads and hat on those linebackers from Michigan State.
Stretch again on Perry. 17-yard line.
What's underrated about Chris Perry is the more you watch him, yeah, he's a great athlete, can catch the ball, run with power, all that stuff. He's a smart runner. He makes the right decision almost every time. I thought he was going to try to get outside that time, and he patiently cut back right at the right time to make the blocks easier for everyone up front.
Chains coming out for a measurement on Perry, who now has carried the ball 27 times here for 121 yards. And, well, the yellow line was only off a few inches.
Something's misting. It's misting out here.
It's the mist. The mist got in somebody's eyes. And,
yeah, isn't it sunspots coming up this weekend, too, or
that
something
can
like
happen sometimes to the movable yellow line. So it is first down and 10.
That so far could be the mad move of the week right there.
First down, Navarre and the Wolverines. Perry. And he is brought down by Levinjo, senior linebacker from Toronto, Ontario, number 42, defensive ringleader. And let's take a look at closer look at this young man who leads this team in tackles. They go up to Canada for several athletes. Mike Levinjo, number 42. Good one.
Lost 30 pounds to get ready to play for John L. Smith this year. He had to prove and earn his way into that linebacker spot.
Second and 8, and Navarre comes in underneath that time. And throwing Thompson, one of the backup fullbacks, number 35, slipped out and was out of bounds at the 26-yard line. First time he's touched the ball here today.
I don't think any Michigan quarterback has ever been through what John Navarre has been through in his career. Maybe started a year or two early, had the critics all over him, even within the Michigan family, but he is making the right decision almost all the time here in his fifth-year senior year.
Stretch with Perry, looks to cut it back and instead just puts the helmet down and goes for it. Askew hanging on.
Chris Perry is the ball carrier. Stopped by Taplin and Matthias Askew.
Dominating the time of possession and moving the chains. Chris Perry, the way it's going, it is possible that he'll go well over 150 yards, and who knows, he may even approach 200 yards here today with the way they're running the football.
Yeah, Brent, remember when we were here 2 years ago, it was T.J. Duckett who ran 27 times for 211 yards. And right there in this game, T.J. did it 2 years ago, and now it's Chris Perry doing the same thing.
Taking its toll, we are sure, on the defensive front of Michigan State with this pounding attack. Incomplete, intended for Edwards. Well, at the conclusion of the game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team, and Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university general scholarship fund.
That's the first time there was been really any noticeable extracurricular activities going on between the guys up front, jawing between the defensive line. I think it was Dave Pearson talking a little bit up there, and you know, if you're Michigan State, you got to tackle somebody before you talk, and they need a stop.
And the middle linebacker Stanley came over on Edwards and sort of tapped him up alongside the helmet after the ball was wrested away from him that time. Second down and 10. Here's Perry again. And we can take a look at the state of Michigan, where these two schools are located, the proximity. Ann Arbor, of course, the University of Michigan, outside of Detroit, and another 65 miles up to East Lansing here for Michigan State. Great rivalry between these two. Interestingly enough, I think in many ways it means more to Michigan State than it does to Michigan, because the Wolverines have Ohio State and Notre Dame as perhaps their top two rivals. But the one thing that is important to Michigan, recruiting within the state, and that's why they like to win this annual Donnybrook against the Spartans, as Navarre pulls straight back. A wide open drop at the 47-yard line. Avant let it get away from him that time, and it is fourth down, so the Spartans survive, and Avant was wide open for a first down that time.
Sure was. Jason Avant wide open because Stevie Breston came underneath, and again, so much concern about Breston getting the ball underneath. They let Avant wide open for what should have been a first down.
I remember against Finley, the backup quarterback, number 5, Drew Stanton, was closing in the first half. Let's see how Michigan blocks it. Kavanaugh's the return man. The Gunners are loose on Kavanaugh, and he got inside one of them. And Kavanaugh makes the most of it. 50, 45. The gunner made a mistake and ran right by Kavanaugh. He could not interfere with the catch in that situation, and there was no one on that side to defend the return.
It was Ernest Shazar, number 25, that was down there. Didn't want to get too close and interfere. He actually touched his leg, and that allowed Kavanaugh to get loose, and it was just a dive at his ankles that kept this from a touchdown. Right there, just clipped him. Pat Massey got it.
A 31-yard return. Timeout. First down and 10 for Jeff Smoker, and the Spartans now better take advantage of one of these situations. We're inside of 8 minutes here in the third quarter.
I'd look for Michigan State maybe to go into some no huddle. They did against Iowa successfully. Why not?
Shabai breaks out from the left, but Smoker looks down into the middle, and another dropped forward pass. This one by Hayes. Jaron Hayes. And man, you wonder about the mind of Jeff Smoker.
Oh, yeah. Today he's going to see 10 different coverages, 8 different defensive fronts. He has 20 formations with 4 different motions. Protections, he has 7 different protections and 25 different pass plays. That gives him over 1 million possible scenarios that he can't possibly be ready for, but he has to be in this game.
None can work if they drop the football.
That's right.
Roll hard to the right. Smoker, backside pressure, gets it off. And here is Alexander. Out of bounds at the 36-yard line. Let's check in the Boilermakers. Here's John. Difference was last week, John, when that receiver juggled the ball, he'd have been hammered by a Wolverine and it would have fallen incomplete. Northwestern doesn't get there. And Hayes is stuffed at the 36 by Carl Diggs, number 43, the linebacker, making the third down play.
Michigan State put 3 tight ends in the football game. Remember, they've already been inside the 10 one time and came away just with a field goal. Purdue had trouble in short yardage. The spread offense has not been able to block in short yardage. Carl Diggs right there wraps him up. Remember, he had the big hit against Purdue to cause a touchdown.
Dave Rayner trots onto the field. And
boy, if there's
they line him up in a punt
there's a quarterback
formation,
remember.
And the quarterback is on the field.
Right
Drew
there.
Stanton, they back him out. He's over to the right side. This is 4th down and short. They show Rugby right, and this time they're going to run left. They're going to run for the first down. Rayner didn't get there. He turned it upfield instead of continuing at an angle. Woods and Massey make the stop, but it looked, at least up here, and we're quite a long ways away, that had he continued on the angle, he might have made it. But he turned upfield and into the arms of the Wolverines. We'll take a look at it on replay. I thought Lloyd was going to jump out there and help on the tackle.
One thing, the punter's too deep. He's 15 yards deep. Look how far he has to run just to get to the line of scrimmage. Should have cheated up to 12. The quarterback, Stanton, does not get the block on the end man, and there's the defender tackling a kicker. Not a first down.
Needed 2, got 1. Michigan says thank you very much. Timeout. State battle Penn State or.
Quick look at the first down play by Michigan State. They have moved up to stop the run one-on-one out here with Braylon Edwards. Michigan State is now saying we can't give up the run on first down. Watch for the deep ball.
2nd down and 8. Avon's out to the right. Navarre throws in underneath using a tight end who's blasted out of bounds at about the 43-yard line. Let me check that. Thompson, the fullback, makes his 2nd catch of the game. So Thompson getting into the flow here. Now Edwards and Preston dash back onto the field. And the Spartans counter with coverage personnel. The nickel package is on the field. Ball at the Michigan 43-yard line. They lead it by 10. 5.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. The Spartans unbeaten in Big Ten play. Draw play, and Perry runs to daylight. Got the first down. Crosses midfield. Out of bounds at the 44-yard line. Maples the corner chasing, but a 13-yard gain. And Perry now with 144 yards on the day with 32 carries.
When you have 3rd and short or 3rd and medium, you can dial any play. Watch Perry switch the ball. Right hand, left hand. Very well taught. gets it into his left outside hand. All the trouble's coming from this side, avoids it, and still has the ability to use the straight arm.
Right about now, and John L. Smith's wishing he had not faked the punt. First down and 10, ball across the 45-yard line. Navarre, still clean jersey, and the receiver is interfered with.
Oh, I thought that was
as Carl Tabb went down. Roderick Maples, the corner, was tied up. The flag came late, but it figures to be a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
First down play. You can tell Michigan
Pass interference, defense, 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Safety's up there. You see it, one-on-one coverage to the bottom. One's to the outside, tugging on each other, and that's what happened. It wasn't their feet. It was a tug by Roderick Maples, number 17. Grabbed the arm, and that's what caused him. Lost confidence, got the penalty.
No doubt about that.
First down play. You could see it the previous first down play that Michigan State had tried a new strategy. They knew they had to stop the run. They're going to force Navarre to beat him with the pass now.
First and 10, ball inside the 30-yard line, and Perry cuts away, still going, and makes his way to the 26-yard line as his pulling lineman missed a guard on that. The guard missed the block on that side, and Perry did a brilliant job of pulling back away from Harmon. Time permitting, stay tuned for the Thrifty Carvino postgame report. 3 shy of 150, and then who knows? This a big defensive series for the Spartans, trailing it by 10. 4:20 to go in the third quarter. Fake to Perry. Navarre's got him wide open. Touchdown, Minery. He'll walk in. How about that for Andy Minery, who dropped the touchdown pass earlier in the game down in the end zone to our right, and this time breaks wide open for a 26-yard touchdown pass by John Navarre, who hasn't been touched in this football game yet.
Action this way, tight end that way, a staple of Michigan's offense. Michigan State a bust again in the secondary coverage. You wonder about Eric Smith not being there. Assignment and communication problems for Michigan State, and Michigan takes advantage of it.
Jared Rivas missed his last extra point. Not this one. It's 23. The lead is now 17. The fake punt blows up in Michigan State's face. The two biggest differences in this football game is that Chris Perry has run for 147 yards for Michigan, and Michigan State has dropped one of Jeff Smoker's on-the-mark passes after another. They have had the dropsies here today, unable to overcome it. John L. Smith gambling on a fake punt gave Michigan a short field to work with. John Navarre made them pay. He still has not been sacked by the nation's leading sack team so far today. Now Cobb to the 27-yard line. Let's check in with Jack Abreu. Jack.
Well, you got to love a basketball coach that comes out in the elements. Tom Izzo getting ready. Your team is ranked, what, 3rd in the nation in the preseason?
Well, they're ranked too high right now, but that's okay, too. I guess that beats the alternative.
What do you make of this game? A little bit of trickery there by John L. Smith on that fake punt.
I really thought it was a good play by him. You know, I just think we had to, you know, early in the game, we dropped a few passes, and our defense has been on the field a long time. We got to get our offense going, Jack.
Hey, Brent, tomorrow, Tom Izzo's team will play the Harlem Globetrotters with a guy we remember, Magic Johnson, and his buddy Larry Bird. You'll see it on ESPN.
I make his own underdog against the Globies, Jack, but gee, we're over and looked at his new workout facility. Wide open, got him, Shabai, first catch, and it's bye-bye. Agim Shabai, touchdown, Michigan State, and they're right back in this game. 73 yards on his first reception of the game, and they're an extra point away from making it a 10, and Lloyd Carr's smile will cease rather quickly as the Spartans jump back in it.
Exactly what Michigan State had to do, throw the ball deep to Shabai. Michigan did not respect him going deep. They thought he was going to go across the field. A complete bust in the secondary cost them 6 and perhaps 7 points.
Rayner gets the extra point. So Shabai, the young man who had been shut out, breaks wide open in the middle.
Shabai is right there in the circle, just comes down to the post. The safety fights. Nobody thinks Shabai is going to go deep. No safety help. Not even a play-action pass. No one deep. That is a complete bust in the secondary. Shabai sneaks by him, and the deep ball gets him 7 points.
For the first time in 2 weeks, Michigan misses Marlon Jackson. The center fielder disappears, and Shabai comes free for the Spartan touchdown. 10 seconds, the time of possession. And here is the young man who leads this team in receptions, but has been quiet today and celebrates his birthday on the day the Nokia Sugar Bowl will be played down in New Orleans Sunday night, January 4th. One of the youngsters on John L. Smith's team. The crowd climbs back in it now. It's 3:58, looking for a stop. But I'm going to go back to one statistic, and that is the fact that John Navarre has not been sacked in this game yet. They've been unable to generate a pass rush. Scooped up on the bounce at the 9 by Preston, who's returning a kickoff. His best return of the day. They put him back on the kickoff return team out to the 34. Let's check in with Jack.
Well, Brent, Shabai has always wanted to do his best, but not for himself, but for his older brother, Fatmir, who taught him the game of football, but believe it or not, can't play it anymore. You see, Fatmir was critically burned in a furnace explosion a couple of years ago, left him in a coma for 5 months, hospitalized him for more than a year. In fact, it was Fatmir who convinced Shabai Ajim to continue to play football, not for himself, but for his older brother.
Listen to this crowd now. The Spartan faithful starting to believe. But they are still trailing favored Michigan by 10. Inside of 4 minutes here in the third quarter. Here's the hammer to the 41-yard line, and Perry now passing that 150 mark and headed for 200. Chris Perry, they have not been able to stop him.
Michigan State's Levinjo right here, number 42. You're going to get a pulling guard. You must attack it, not stand there and catch. Levinjo catches it, and that gives it a seam right there. Good block inside by Lentz. Those outside linebackers must really go and motor and take on that guard.
Headed for 40 carries. Chris Perry with 34 already today. Make it 35. Another hole, left side, penalty flag thrown on the play. The linesman throwing a penalty flag as Perry was reaching for the first down. It goes against the Wolverines. Well, a reminder now that showdown is going to be done by 7:45. They'll know about the team that they are chasing. We have 2 unbeatens left. They control the down and 14 yards to go. 3 minutes now in the third quarter. John Navarre still not touched. Complete to the 41-yard line. Edwards again.
Yeah, the game plan has been very simple for Michigan. They've established the run enough now that they got one-on-one coverage on Braylon Edwards. They've gone deep. Michigan State is now giving them the short one, and Michigan is not afraid to throw the out route. They believe in John Navarre's arm, and they just pick up half of it that time to give them another third and medium where they can run the draw or pass any play they want. They like to use Edwards and a little option right here.
Third down and 4, and Perry to pass block as Navarre looks far outside. Incomplete. Avon saying it was bumped, and here is a late flag.
Grabbed Avon's jersey. There's no doubt about it.
That's Maples again.
Yep, grabbed him right on the back of the jersey to Avon. That's a big pickup for Michigan. When you don't have confidence as a defensive back, you're going to grab right at the last second. Avon, square in, good route. Now watch the grab of the jersey. There it is. Tug on the back. Ball is perfectly thrown. That's why they got it.
Make sure I'm right. Previous spot 15.
I think Michigan State needs to blitz John Navarre. He's so comfortable in the pitcher's mound right now. He has not been chased all day.
He's 11 of 23 for 152 yards. The 2 scoring strikes and 1 interception. It's a 10-point Michigan lead. Minery breaking free, and then just moments after that, Shabai into an empty center field. Here comes Perry again. Maybe a yard that time as the left side of the defense jumps him. Labinjo, number 42, making the play.
Askew did a good job there too, taking on that pulling guard. That's how you have to attack it when you're the end man over there. You got to get those guards before they get started. The seam gets too big and the linebackers have to cover too much space. Taplin, number 94, has been very quiet. Right there.
Second down and 10. Again, Navarre standing tall, untouched, incomplete, breast in the intended receiver. And it'll be third down. Look at John Navarre's jersey. You know, we've got a little rain out there, a little damp on the ground. Compare Navarre with Perry's jersey. I mean, it is unbelievable. They are not laying a hand on him as you see our quarterback comparison right now. There's Perry doing all the dirty work for 150. Now look at Navarre, folks. That's the job the offensive line is doing for both of these fellas, if you will.
Good
now
job by
third and 10. Navarre saw that it was an illegal formation, moved the outside man up. Stands middle, got him. Avant, first down inside the 25-yard line. A little bit of an off-balance throw, but it was on the money for the senior John Navarre. That was a good play.
Absolutely.
By 16.
The critics say John Navarre can't throw when he has to move. Watch this one, critics. Stands, moves to his left, pats the ball, moves, and then throws a little bit across his body. Momentum going left, throws to the right. That's the best play of the game so far by John Navarre.
Coming down toward the 1-minute mark. Ball on the 22-yard line for John Navarre, the Wolverine.
Brent, Michigan State must blitz. John Navarre's on fire when he doesn't get anybody in his face.
Now Perry, his turn. Not much doing that time. Let's check in on the Hawkeyes. Here's John. And here Perry with 36 carries for 155 yards for Michigan, up 10, 20-10. Stretch to him again. And he battles his way across the 15-yard line, picking up some tough yards that time before Greg Cooper is able to bring him down. And now 162 yards and a little bit of turf in East Lansing. Back for the fourth quarter after this message and a word from our ABC station.
Right here, right now, right here, right now.
Well, there's the total yards for the Wolverines. Pretty well balanced, Gary.
And that's what everybody says makes Michigan so tough. They have not been able to do this on the road until this game this year.
Up by 10, we start the fourth quarter. And Mr. Perry is headed for the record books. That's his 38th carry of the day and 165 yards. If he keeps it up, he'll go past 40. That'll put him up there with the all-time record at Michigan, headed for 200 yards. A wonderful day.
I thought Chris Perry showed it last week to his team that this season was important to him. He got popped on the first play of the game, and he finished against a tough Purdue defense. That told everybody that he was in it for the Rose Bowl, and he wanted to win it.
Yeah, exactly. Big game as far as the Rose Bowl presented by City is concerned. And now with a 1st and 10, Perry cuts inside close to the 5-yard line. USC, when we talk about Pasadena, USC with a big one today against Washington State out in the Coliseum. The Trojans are believed by many to be one of the finest teams in college football, and should either of those two unbeaten stumble, a lot of folks think it might be the Trojans. Others think it could be Florida State. Some say Georgia. So the battle just beginning as we enter November here. 2nd down and 6, and the length of this drive, 59 yards for Navarre. Can't get over the fact of how clean he looks. He won't even have to take a shower, man. Here's a handoff now, and Perry with a penalty flag throwing, and that will probably be holding again against the Wolverines. There was a little bit of pain on Perry's face that time down in that huddle. There's the holding call. Gary mentioned the fact that he's up a little bit slowly right now.
Yep.
Perry is a little. Have one of those dishes or a cable company that'll give you some of those extra games. You want to flip around and see him, and there's Chris Perry's numbers.
Starting to flex that little thigh bruise that he got against Purdue again as he gets popped and popped against this not giving up defense by Michigan State. Let's see if he catches one on the thigh again right here. Yes, his right thigh took it from Ronald Stanley.
This a passing play for the Wolverines for sure.
Right here.
Navarre looks, now comes back to him, got him high, incomplete, and pretty good coverage that time as Darren Barnett, the sophomore from Cincinnati, jumped on Braylon Edwards that time and did an excellent job right at the goal line.
Sure did, because John Navarre saw what I saw. You got number one matched up, bump and run, had a square in route. Barnett doesn't go for the fake, cuts it off. The ball is very well thrown. Wrapped his arm around him, but I think that's a good no call.
Wow, I thought he was holding his hips. I thought he could have easily thrown a flag on that one. Third down. Navarre looking left, fires high, got him. So Edwards makes the catch as a flag comes throwing between the two defensive backs. Did Edwards push off? Michigan signaling touchdown, so that's it.
Remember what Michigan State said.
Touchdown.
The one guy Edwards will throw to, Navarre will throw to if he's double covered is Edwards. Edwards comes from the outside. He gets double covered. Still throws the ball. Navarre right in them, between them. Got one guy with his back to him, one guy with his arm on him, and Big Edwards comes up with a catch. Braylon Edwards, what a player.
Yeah, they are abusing the corners of Michigan State, especially Maples has had a real tough afternoon, and it is hard to cover these Michigan receivers. Remember what Joe Tiller said. He thinks they're the best in the country, proving it again today, up 27-10. Well, there is Chris Perry, who has been the MVP today. The record for carries in a game, Ron Johnson back in '67. The A-Train, Anthony Thomas in '99 with 42, as you see the Chevrolet Drive summary. Perry got it going, and then, of course, Edwards finished it off with a touchdown. Dienberg kicking it off, and again it is Cobb. Bobbles at the 5, to the middle. Still going, gonna break free, he's got great speed. Thrown down at the 40-yard line, and Carl Tabb, the wide receiver with speed, able to come back and make a touchdown-saving tackle on Cobb.
The ball is bobbled, and we've seen it all. All of us that have watched football, everybody kind of slows down a little bit, thinking, okay, I don't have to cover this one. And he runs right through the tackle, and all of a sudden, very fortunate that Michigan had a receiver that had speed to match Cobb on the field.
Alexander's off to the right, Trinan to the left, Shabai the slot man, as Jeff Smoker attempts now to pass Michigan State back in it. They cluster 3 on the left, inside the 40-yard line. Alexander drops it. There's another drop ball. We must have had 8 or 9 drop passes here today by Michigan State.
Well, and if you're watching this game from the state of Michigan after watching the Lions drop 8 balls against the Bears last Sunday, you're saying, what is this, moving west? Is this thing moving west? This plague?
Well, Braylon Edwards, Jason Avon had the drop season on one today. Preston, they haven't thrown to. I was thinking more of the Wolverines for a moment. Second down and 10. Shabai steps over to the right. Smoker under pressure, throws the screen in that direction. Shabai, and stopped right at the first down marker. There is a penalty flag back by the 40-yard line. Shazer makes the stop. And that's holding, and let's go in on the Purdue bloodletting. Purdue still in this chase in the Big Ten. They have lost the tiebreaker to Michigan, but they still have a big game coming up in Columbus against Ohio State. So the Boilermakers cannot be counted out of the battle to get to Pasadena. Michigan still has the showdown coming up with Ohio State in Ann Arbor, however. There's not in the middle at the 38-yard line, back past the original line of scrimmage with a third down.
Ernest Shazor, who's been all over the football field, rushing the passer, asked Purdue what type of player he is, has really emerged as an impact football player. He's a great one in the making. One of the reasons that Marlon Jackson was moved to safety is Shazor started a little slow this year. They didn't know if he'd come through, but right now, Michigan safety with Behringer and Shazor, they don't need Marlon Jackson at safety. He can move back in the corner.
Smoker stands tall, fires, got it complete. It'll be 1st and 10. Shabai. Man, once they get the ball in his hands for the first time, he's now in the red zone. But you know, when I watch Jeff Smoker, I think about some of the things that have bothered him off the field. And let's take a look at this first.
Yeah, one beautiful read right here. Here's the robber jumping on the first player, waits for the second guy to come through. Jeff Smoker read the coverage perfectly. One of the 10 different coverages that Michigan's going to show him today.
Smoker is 17 of 31. He's thrown for 227 yards. He now has thrown 200 passes without an interception. He has not thrown an interception. There's an official, obviously, he was down, but seems to be okay. He's up. And Smoker without an interception thrown in a Big Ten game this year. 12 minutes, still lots of time left, trying to drive the Spartans back to within 10. They trail it 27-10. And Jeff Smoker, here's Hayes, and he has slipped up. And, you know, we asked Smoker about the importance of football to him at this stage in his life.
Yeah, I definitely have a new perspective on life and football, definitely. I'm just enjoying this year. I'm having a blast this year. And, you know, just kind of have a new love for the game and new appreciation for it.
Huge support group, constantly being tested so he doesn't slip back into his old habits, goes to meetings, tries to stay a little bit more to himself, away from some of the old haunts. It's a constant battle for someone like Smoker, battling substance abuse and coming back. He now throws in zone, Hayes, and he underthrew his man, and he's lucky that one wasn't picked off by Reed, the linebacker.
Well, that's a great matchup Michigan State had. Hayes on a linebacker, and Lawrence Reed did a great job of reading that fade. You see it matchup. If you're a quarterback, you say, I like my scat back against a linebacker, but Michigan's linebackers, especially Lawrence Reed, special receiver, the special defender, does a nice job of squeezing Hayes to the sideline.
Shabai has been big. The Spartans tried Kyle Brown for one series, but obviously he's not healthy. He hasn't been back. The tight end Knott is a little bit off the line of scrimmage over to the right. Third down. Smoker from the gun. The Wolverines come to blitz. He throws it underneath to Shabai, who's bounced back to about the 16-yard line. So it'll be 4th down now with 11 minutes to go. And Jeremy LeSueur does it. And looking at the scoreboard, John did not hesitate what he wants to do. He'll take the 3 right now in his bid to get the comeback.
Yeah, because if you get the 13, that makes it a 14-point game, 2 possessions. So that's the strategy.
Fields, the deep leg punter, will put it down, and it looks like it's about a 31-yard field goal here, George Hill tells me. So Rayner, who has been one of the better field goal kickers in the nation this year, nails another one. Well, they trail it, but still not going away, are they? Michigan State giving themselves at least a little bit of a chance. Timeout. Here at Michigan, you know, this is one of the prettiest campuses in the country. When you come here to Michigan State, you sometimes forget that. Just lovely people around here in East Lansing. It's always great to come to either of these great schools, actually. Fielded at the 5-yard line by Preston. And he is down at the 17-yard line. So they won't punt to him. Lloyd says, let's put him back on the kickoff return team and see if we can get him a little daylight as Robert Flagg down to make the stop for the special teams. And now, interesting decision-making process here. Perry appeared to be a little bit nicked up over there. He's carried 32 times. Remember, he's approaching the record of 42. And he's in there behind the fullback, Kevin Dudley, which would indicate that Lloyd wants that record set. And so here is Navarre, one closer. And Perry dives up through around the 30-yard line. There's his 40th carry of the game. And the Pacific Life game summary shows Perry, who now has rushed for 173 yards with a touchdown. And then Braylon Edwards with a touchdown catch, one of his 2 on the game. There's the second one.
I don't know if it has so much to do with him getting the record as getting the win. This is still a football game, and you got to have Chris Perry on the field.
I think one of the same, however.
Yep.
Put it back in Perry's hands and work on the clock here. And the record will be his. Navarre to set the screen. Perry's the receiver. Out of bounds right at that marker. Good bit of running there as we check in with John in New York. Let's see, was Texas about a 5 or 6 point favorite in that game, John? People be watching those numbers in that one, lad. So here we are now, 9:42, 27-13. Michigan with the lead, and it looks like Perry just was just a little bit short of that mark. When we watched him, he made a bid to get to it. And there you can see where they have to go. Yellow marker on the field, and here he comes again. Got it easily. 45, midfield. Perry with his 41st carry of the game. 1 away from tying the record, and 13 yards from 200, and an exhausted warrior, Chris Perry. And I hope Mom is watching. She was interviewed by Jack Arute in Ann Arbor last week. Just a wonderful story. She's been fighting breast cancer. We certainly pass along the best to her. Many of you heard the story that Chris Perry was in danger of quitting the team, wasn't getting along with head coach Lloyd Carr. She showed up, got assurance from the coach that he would take care of the son, told young Chris, don't quit, don't be a quitter. And the rest, we're watching the end product of that here today as he steps into that record land right now. And here he is. Perry is with Ron Johnson and Anthony Thomas, and was that another official?
Official went down big time. Now this one looked a little rougher than the last one. The Michigan doctors or trainers ran right out even before the whistle blew that time.
They're coming across, really got it.
Let's take a look at what Michigan State had to do. Harass John Navarre. Have they done that? No. On forced errors, they've made a bunch. They've had about 8 of drop balls, and you see it as they've been all over this team, and they beat themselves. Harass John Navarre, no sacks. 15 rushes, 33 pass plays, have not got the balance. 6, 8. Anytime you get over 5, you stop counting.
Navarre said, are you ready? 23? Let's go get it. This school has played football 124 years. All right? And they have been a great running back school through the years. And I'm sure that even Bo Schembechler is impressed by this one.
Talked to him before the game, and he said, I remember the old days. We used to run the ball to win this game. Well,
Chris Perry with 42 carries. The ball is at midfield. Here's the record. Perry, a left side to the 46-yard line. And Chris Perry with the most carries in a game ever by a Michigan running back. Let's check in with Jack Arute. Jack?
Well, Brent, back in the spring, Chris Perry met with his running back coach, Fred Jackson, and both agreed that Perry had to pick up his game for his season. So Perry said, I'll recommit myself to being the best that I can be. And to show how sincere he was, Perry put it all in writing. Rogers wrote it out on the board. Perry signed it with his number. And believe it or not, that pledge still remains in the office to this day.
Coach Jackson, one of the best recruiters in the state of Michigan, does an outstanding job with the Wolverines. Navarre at the 35-yard line. First down, Preston.
Really have to appreciate the balance of this Michigan football team. You bang, you bang, you bang, and you still have Preston and Edwards and Avant, and that ball was perfectly thrown by John Navarre. He threw it about 2 seconds early, and he put it out there where only Preston can get it. I'm telling you, Michigan can play with anyone, including Oklahoma. They're not going to get a chance unless Oklahoma loses, but they can tee it up with anybody in the country.
Except Oregon and Eugene. First down and...
They only lost by a total of 7 points.
It counts. Here's the draw play. Perry again adding to it.
Now he's going for 200. He's got one record. Now he's going to go for 200 yards.
He's 5 yards away from 200. This is just a magnificent performance by running back Chris Perry.
And I'm sure Michigan State fans are going, well, you know, why can't they just load up the box? Well, we saw why Michigan State can't load up the box. They still have Braylon Edwards out there, and if you go one-on-one, they're going to throw the ball deep, and you can't match up there. When the front four and the front seven with the linebackers couldn't control the line of scrimmage, this game was practically over.
I think there's another storyline developing here that we didn't put our finger on, but let me throw it out right now. After Gary and Jack and I left the Notre Dame game, Chris Perry was a solid Heisman choice candidate. Then after the debacle at Oregon, he fell out of it. With a performance like this, breaking records and passing 200 yards running against arch rival Michigan State, you put Perry right down as one of the leading candidates for the Heisman Trophy. Here is a 45 carry day for 203 yards, and this is in Big Ten country up here, and he has just shredded the defensive line of Michigan State.
That offensive line has done a great job. That was tremendous blocking. Perry, I think, started the march last week against Purdue when he refused to come out with that injury. And that offensive line said, we'll show you the rest of the way. Navarre is on fire. This team is on fire.
Let's talk about this offensive line.
Oh, Navarre, foot race. Is it going to be picked up? Could be a touchdown. Foot race now. Are the Spartans back in it? Clifford Dukes. Touchdown, Michigan State. Holy Toledo. As the Wolverines were driving for the put-away touchdown.
Got a little too fancy, naked. Late in the game, Navarre gets hit by Dukes just as he threw it. Actually, it wasn't. I think it was Robert Flagg who's done a great job on special teams all day, and then Dukes picks it up and takes it. Michigan gets fancy and puts Michigan State back in the football game.
6 minutes to go now and a big extra point. This could pull the Spartans to within 7. Raynard nails it.
6 minutes and 3 seconds.
Ball game time, and he's Lancey, ladies and gentlemen.
When you're running the bootleg, you must make sure that that safety at the end of the line of scrimmage isn't coming. Robert Flagg is coming. The receiver's open, but Navarre doesn't have time. But watch, one more look. During commercial we found, John Navarre actually starts to lose the ball before he's hit. That's another reason why he fumbled the ball, and Flagg turns it over. Michigan State has lived on turnovers all year, the best in the Big Ten, and they get a huge one right when the game looked like Michigan could put it away.
It also goes down as the first sack of the game by the Spartans, who lead the country, and it Preston driven back, bobbles it going in, picks it up, coming out, and he makes a mental mistake. He's down at the 10-yard line. The ball would have sailed in through the end zone if Preston hadn't gone for it, and it would be on the 20.
Well,
that cost them 10.
He actually made another mistake, even though that he fielded it. Since the momentum of the ball got into the end zone, he could have played it and stayed in the end zone. But young football player doesn't want to make a double mistake, comes out and gets it to the 10.
Now Chris Perry with 45 carries, 203 yards, jogs onto the field.
Chris Perry now with 45 carries has to be careful not to make a mistake with the football. When you're tired, that's when you can drop the ball.
Kevin Douglas, the fullback. Inside of 6 minutes. Here he comes again. Stuffed short of the 15-yard line. So for those of you who have just joined us here at the top of the hour, I know some of you getting ready for Ohio State, others for Oklahoma. Just a few moments ago, Michigan State climbed back in it after Perry dominated this game with 46 carries, 207 yards, and that touchdown. But two huge plays for the Spartans in this game. One, they go to Shabai on the deep bomb down the middle. Now their first sack of Navarre results in a defensive touchdown as Clifford Dukes gets free on him. Navarre back, pressured, fires, complete. First down for the Wolverines at the 27-yard line. Braylon Edwards, who's had a big day. 7 catches. He's had 103 yards and 2 touchdowns. So Perry and Edwards now picking up the yardage here for the Wolverines.
You're Michigan. You want to get a couple first downs at the least. You don't want any way to have Jeff Smoker get another chance with that football at the end of this game. It will be reminiscent of the last time in this game he got the football back 2 years ago.
First down and 10 for Navarre. No pressure, and comes to Thompson again. That's his 3rd catch of the game. And picks up about 3 yards using Thompson as a swing man out of the backfield. Mitchell. Time for many, of course. Stay tuned for the thrifty
action passes.
Here's Perry. And he steps to the 36-yard line, and Seth Mitchell, number 48, makes still another stop on him. And Perry, 213 yards and 47 carries. Headed for 50 carries and slowly getting up and going back to the huddle. How much can one running back stand here today? He has to be really tired. 3rd down and short. Sometimes that's when a tired running back really turns it loose. We've seen the great ones. 3.5 now. Perry trying to get himself sky high for this one. Unless Navarre goes right straight ahead behind Pearson. He does. Steps over behind his fine left guard, David Boz, from Sarasota for a first down for the Wolverines. And Lloyd Carr anxiously looking at that clock. It cannot move fast enough for the Wolverines.
Yeah, every time Chris Perry kind of looks over to the sideline, Lloyd Carr turns around and says, sorry, finish the game. We need you in the game. It's funny how things
Offside,
go from
defense, 5 yards. Result in a first down.
Funny how things go from talking about records to talking about winning a game in one play. That's how fast.
John L. getting on the linesman down here on the Michigan State side. You can see him lobbying down there. Coming down toward 3 minutes. Michigan's lead is 7.
You see John Navarre, he will use all of that play clock right there.
It's Perry again, stepping off to the right, and quickly the safety comes up to fill the hole. That's Harmon. And now Perry very slowly to get up after his 48th carry of the afternoon.
Is he giving it a Jim Brown, or is he? Because every time he sees an opening, he takes it.
Timeout. Big smile on his face.
Michigan State football coaches' wives organized a book drive to benefit Lansing area schools. Donations were accepted prior to today's game. And please direct your attention to the message center at the north end of the
Well, we welcome those of you who have been watching Texas lead Nebraska. Here with Gary Danielson and Jack Arute, I'm Brett Musburger. And Michigan, just a short time ago, had a comfortable 14-point lead and was driving for a touchdown. John Navarre was blitzed and fumbled, and a defensive lineman scooped it up and dashed in for the Spartan touchdown to make this a 7. Now Navarre, the senior quarterback there in the middle for the Wolverines, is trying to kill the clock. This is the touchdown. Now watch Navarre, the fake, flag hits him, and Dukes scoops it up. And the defensive end outruns the offense for the touchdown, and after the extra point, it was 7. So again, now we have 2:39 to go. Michigan with 3 timeouts left. The Spartans with a pair. It is 2nd down and 8. Another story is Chris Perry for Michigan. He's carried 48 times for 215 yards in this game. They put him on a wing on the right side now. and they bring the end around, and nothing at all doing with Preston. There's a penalty flag on the play.
And Pearson got his helmet. Dave Pearson, number 57, got his helmet tore off. So it's going to be interesting to see which way this goes. That's a huge call. An unforced error by Michigan State right when they had Michigan 3rd and long.
John L. Smith, his first year here. He's Lloyd Carr, veteran of these wars. He has not had great success in East Lansing over the years. Hands to the face. That'll cost him not just the 15 yards, but of course that puts the ball past the midfield line. And a 1st and 10 now for Navarre and the Wolverines, and they desperately want to kill this clock.
And it's going to cost them at least a minute and a half, too, and probably force them to burn their last 2 timeouts, because it would have been 3rd and long on the play.
Perry is 2 carries away.
Now, right here, 57 is where it happens. Watch Pearson in the middle of the play. It's Askew, is it? Yes, there it is. Rips it right off in his hand. He's got it, and that's a dumb penalty.
Number 49 as Perry with his 49th carry of the game to the 37-yard line, adding to his all-time Michigan record, and again slowly being helped up.
Had close to 100 yards in the first quarter of this football game. Thought it was going to be one of those flash and dash games where the wide receivers threw it all over and everybody was kind of basketball on grass, but Lloyd Carr said, we're going to run it right at this sack-happy defense.
2nd down. Juggle got it back short of the 1st down, and Perry with 50 carries on the game. Most importantly, he secured the football. He appeared to be losing it just a little bit. Down toward the 110 mark now. We're going to take a break because of the timeout. An unbelievable rushing day for Chris Perry of the Wolverines. Lethal on 3rd down. Edwards today 103 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Perry 221 yards rushing. Here they come. 3rd down and 4. Interesting call. Michigan State wants one last shot at it.
If Michigan runs, Michigan State will have to use a timeout.
Here they come. Perry upset down. 4th down. They'll probably position, punt it away. Maples, who's had a long, tough afternoon, makes a big tackle right there. And there's the timeout. So the Spartans have exhausted their timeouts. Lloyd Carr, decision-making time on the far side. Lloyd Carr just told his punter, Adam Finley, I don't want it in the end zone. And Gary Danielson just added, like a good radio talk show host, that he doesn't want it blocked. So Finley will come on the field now.
We don't want a bad snap, and we don't want to hold it. We don't want anything. We just want it to be good.
So Finley will be standing right about midfield. He'll hit it up around the 45-yard line. Michigan State not deploying anybody back. They've got everybody pressing to the front. And it's going to go to the end zone and come out in the 20-yard line. Not what Lloyd wanted. And now, down on the defense, he had a word for Shaw. So here it is, Jeff Smoker. He's thrown for 230 yards. He has 1:06, no timeouts. The clock stops quickly, of course, on a 1st down. He can take advantage of that.
So reminiscent of 2 years ago.
Trannon, Alexander, Shabai, not. They cluster 3 on the left against the Wolverines. Smoker has time, throws him underneath. to the 26-yard line on first down. Clock runs. Shaw makes the stop. Now we're inside of 1 minute.
See why Michigan ran the ball on third down. No timeouts.
A three-man rush. The prevent is in for the Wolverines. Smoker, middle, got it, first down. That stops the clock. They need to hurry. They're up to the 39-yard line. Shabai, the receiver that time. The umpire spots the ball. Whitvote, the referee, cranks it up. Inside of 40 seconds. Smoker. It's clean. Throws in underneath to knock. The tight end trying to get out of bounds. Does. Stops the clock after picking up about 4 or 5 yards on the play. A half minute left for Smoker.
Very dangerous pass by Jeff Smoker, throwing to a slow tight end between the hashes. Michigan makes a mistake not getting the tackle. Remember the rule change because of that 2001 game. The clock is controlled by the officials on the field, not up in the booth. No Spartan Bob this year.
Second down. Smoker clustering again on the left side. The Wolverines show pressure on the left side of the defense. Don't come. Three-man rush. Still prevent. Smoker's got sideline high. Incomplete. He overthrew Shabai that time. A little bit too high.
I think he was surprised Shabai stopped on that play. He was thrown to the sideline. Shabai, in one of those read routes, stopped right there, and the ball just sailed. Michigan has rushed 3 men on every play. They've been in the prevent. Can't blame them. Every time they complete a pass less than a first down, the clock keeps running.
It's 25 seconds and no timeouts. Third down and 6. First down marker at the 48-yard line. Penalty flag is thrown. Smoker. He's got an offside to work with underneath. Dribbled, incomplete. Clock stops. But that's going to be a 5-yard penalty against the defense. The right side of the defensive line jumped that time, but it's still going to be short of a first down. They had about 6 yards to go here for a first down.
Offside defense. 5 yards. Need third down.
Not that it matters very much anyway. Only 17 seconds to work with, but they're 5 yards closer.
They are getting close enough now, though, that they will be able to throw to the end zone to finish the game. Even if they can't get for a normal play, they'll be able to throw the Big Ben at the end of the game. Jeff Smoker can throw the ball, Coach told us, at least 70 yards in the air.
Need 1 yard for a first down. Just short of midfield, a cluster with Hayes. Dashes over to the right-hand side, to the wide side of the field. Backfield is empty for Smoker. Offensive line blocks 3. Here's Shabai, drops another pass, and now it is 4th down and 1. That's about 8 to 10 drops here today.
That's at least that many. That's being fair, 8 drops. 10 on the outside. Would have been an easy first down. Unforced errors, drop balls. No way. The 12% solution today for Michigan State's up by about 25% with drop balls.
The safeties for Michigan have backed up to the 35-yard line. Shazer on the hash on that side is back on the 35-yard line. There's only 14 seconds to work with against this Wolverine prevent. Smoker straight ahead, stops the clock with the first down. And he was juggling as he went forward with the snap that time in his eagerness to follow Chris Morris for the first down. He's only got 10 seconds now.
He should just ground the ball now very quickly as soon as the referee moves.
He puts everybody down, and there he does just that. So they gain a little bit of time with that maneuver. But again, they've got 51 yards, and they need a touchdown. They're down 7. 9 seconds, and again, like Gary said, no Spartan Bob. It's 9 and not 10 seconds here today.
9 or 10, give or take a second, right? Must throw the ball if you're Jeff Smoker past the yellow line on television. The ball must be thrown further than 10 yards.
Here we go. Final 9 seconds. The Spartans. Smoker steps away from trouble, comes in incomplete. And the last 3 seconds of the game about to unfold. Pierre Woods getting pressure on him that time. Beginning to look now like Michigan is going to get away from here. but it was hard fought.
Yeah, Michigan defensive backs now must remind themselves, no interference and knock it down. No interference. It'll be the last play of the game.
The safeties back up to the 12-yard line. That's where Shazer's going in deep, deep center field. Now, Behringer backs the corners up with him. There's 4 Wolverines inside the 20. Jeff Smoker fires it high toward the end zone. Wolverines are there. They've got it. Interception in the end zone. And the Wolverines hang on. Scott McClintock back in the end zone. Makes the interception to end it. And our Chevrolet players in the game, no question about it. Chris Perry for Michigan, 51 carries, 219 yards and a touchdown. And for Michigan State, Jeff Smoker, 254 yards, 1 touchdown, and the last play of the game is only interception. Chevrolet makes a $1,000 contribution as we send you to Jack.
Coach, can you breathe yet?
Oh, my God. Well, you know, we had the game in hand there and made a decision to throw the football, and it backfired on us, but our guys fought like the devil, and it was a great football game. It's a traditional Michigan State game, hard fought right down to the bitter end.
Coach, who made that decision to throw the ball?
I did.
Congratulations, Coach. It worked out for you.
Thanks.
Lloyd Carr, he always takes the blame. Even if one of the assistants made the decision, he's up front about it. The final score, Michigan wins it 27-20, and the Big Ten standings will tell you that Michigan took a small step toward Pasadena. Remember, they've still got to deal with Ohio State in Ann Arbor as the Wolverines win it 27-20. ABC Sports Online at ESPN.com. Search ABC Sports. Now, John Saunders, Terry Bowden, Craig James in Times Square Stadium. Take it away, guys.